Hello everyone, my name is Infinity and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. Today we're talking about a subject we discuss a lot on this channel, and that is twin flames. Now, the reason I'm so passionate about twin flames is because I am a twin flame myself. I am in union with my twin flame counterpart, and I may share more details on my story at some later date in a separate video. But because this path, this twin flame path has been very intertwined with my spiritual awakening, spiritual growth, and spiritual expansion, I really feel inspired to share as much information, both from intuition and from my own experience, and of course from talking with hundreds, maybe thousands of others, and reading all of your comments and experiences. So thank you so much for joining me in this video, regardless of whether you are conscious and certain of the fact that you are a twin flame, that you have a twin flame, or whether you are just coming to this material kind of stumbling on this video, although I don't believe in accidents, so there is some reason that you're here. Regardless of where you're at on your own spiritual path or how you feel about twin flames, I do feel like you will find some interesting information in this video, because today we're talking about twin flame recognition signs. I know that twin flame signs are one of the most frequently discussed twin flame topics, which makes sense because, well, for starters, this is one topic that I probably researched more than anything else when I met my twin flame and started to come into this awareness of what this journey is, who this person is, what's going on in this connection. And if you are experiencing this twin flame path, then you fully understand why you feel compelled, drawn to research these signs, sometimes in my case, even just like obsessively, especially at first. It's really natural to do this because everything in the twin flame connection defies what society teaches us love should look like. And this is actually by design, because this path is here to teach us a new pattern of love, and actually a pattern of loving ourselves, a new pattern of self-love, of being able to fully love and embrace our authentic selves, rather than some kind of false image of ourselves that we feel like we need to project to others through the ego. But because the twin flame connection not only defies society's understanding of love, but also sometimes understanding of logic, there is so much about this connection, especially many of the signs specifically that we experience, that seem just entirely illogical. They don't seem to make any sense whatsoever, and I hopefully we'll touch on some of those signs later in this video. But if you have experienced any kind of twin flame sign that seemed particularly strange, or just to defy logic or reason, or to not really make sense in the moment, but that was a really powerful sign for you, I would love if you shared it below in the comments, because as I always say, my favorite part about building this community is being able to share our stories with each other, share our experiences. And I always say that you out there listening, wherever you are, you're not alone, whether you are a twin flame or just someone who is spiritually awakening. And I hope that through this community, you can feel seen, heard, and understood. So if I do resonate with you, I hope you will consider subscribing to this channel and joining our community here. So in this video, we're talking about twin flame recognition signs. Now, what do I mean by recognition signs as opposed to just general twin flame signs? Well, I guess this is a little bit, redundant, because every twin flame sign is put on our path in order for us to recognize this connection. That's why we experience the signs, because we predestined in our heart and soul prior to incarnating in this life. We essentially came up with a list of ways, if you want to think of it that way, that we would recognize one another in this lifetime. So everything is by design. We were meant to experience these signs when and how we experience them in order to look into each other's eyes and recognize the eternal history that we share together and the depth of our connection, the eternity of our connection. So I guess right there I gave a hint to one of the major, perhaps one of the most easy ways to recognize, the most powerful ways to recognize a twin flame is through the eye connection. In fact, I find this sign to be so powerful. I created an entire video a while back dedicated just to talking about twin flame eye contact and the significance of this eye connection. At first, when you look into your twin flame's eyes, one of the first things that you will realize is that this person looks very familiar to you. Now, this familiarity won't be quite like you look at them and think, oh, I feel like I grew up with you. I mean, it won't be just that, although you could kind of get that sense, like I feel like I've known you my whole life. But it's actually much deeper than that. It's familiarity that says, I feel like I know your heart and soul, not just that I feel like we've met before, but I feel like I know your darkest secrets. I feel like I know your most tragic memories. I feel like I am feeling in my own body, in my own emotions, everything you've ever experienced that caused you pain or joy or heartbreak. In this one moment of just looking at you. That is the best way I can describe it, because it is something that's really hard to put into words. It's the kind of eye contact that if you look at your twin flame just once, their eyes will sear into your soul. And it's not that it's searing into you for the first time, burning some kind of mark into you. It's that by looking into their eyes, something is stirred deep within you, something that has always existed, something that existed at the origin of your soul and continued to exist lifetime after lifetime, leading you to this very moment. They stir that, they touch that within you through just looking at you. And it's very common for twin flames, after having just one moment of eye contact, eye connection, to actually see their twin flame's eyes. This sounds kind of strange, but after looking at each other, after gazing into each other's eyes, they will continue to find themselves daydreaming almost just about making eye contact with this person. They will just see their eyes as they're trying to fall asleep, or even throughout the day as they're trying to work or go about their day. This is because, like I said, this eye connection just really stirs that eternity within us. Very often, this is actually one of the key ways that twin flames decide they will recognize each other. They know that in the moments they look into each other's eyes, they are going to remember, even if they aren't quite ready in their ego to accept the truth of the connection. They know that just by looking at each other, they will never again be able to fully turn back. And I do find that that's a key point. Oftentimes the eye contact is kind of the point of no return, which I know sounds like kind of a negative thing, but it's really that moment that's kind of a turning point where when they make meaningful eye contact for the first time, twin flames tend to kind of forge this physical aspect of their connection in this lifetime that causes them to never be able to forget one another consciously again. So the second sign, second twin flame recognition sign, I should say, is the voice. Our voice carries a frequency. In fact, everything in the universe vibrates at a certain frequency. But specifically, our voice actually carries the resonance of our soul. That is why so often, just by listening to someone speak, we can hear whether or not that person is being authentic with us. Oftentimes, we're able to tell intuitively if someone is lying, just listening to the sound of their voice. But oftentimes we just kind of leave it there and call it intuition and don't realize the depth of power that exists within our voice. Our voice essentially carries the frequency of our soul. And so when we speak to our twin flame the first time, the way to say it that just came to my mind was their voice will sound like music to your ears. And what I mean by that is you will never be able to get enough of just hearing them speak. In fact, you may find yourself literally getting lost in their voice. This feeling of getting lost may actually be a sign that because of how much soul resonance you are feeling with their voice, it's raising your vibration and causing you to have these glimpses into the fifth dimension, which of course in the fifth dimension, time and space don't exist. This is also why twin flames, just by speaking to one another, can sometimes lose all concept and connection to time and our physical, concrete world. This can even happen over the phone with a twin flame. You will notice that as you're speaking, it feels like time has lost all meaning. You could talk for hours upon hours and be shocked to discover how much time has passed. It's like you go into this kind of daze, this world that exists between only the two of you and is created through the sounds of your voices, telling stories, exchanging thoughts and ideas, just like this energy moving back and forth as you resonate with the sound of each other's voice. And it kind of sweeps you up into this literal higher dimension with one another. But tying along with this voice recognition sign, it's not just how they speak, it's what they say. And this is where telepathy kind of comes into play. You will feel as though while your twin flame is speaking, you can, in your mind, finish what they're about to say. I sometimes jokingly call this autofill, like how your phone will fill the next word based on what you normally type. Well, with your twin flame, even if you have literally just met and are basically just strangers, you have this sense for what they are about to say, because just like your phone knows how you usually type, you on a soul level actually know at the core of your soul, through lifetimes and lifetimes of shared experiences together, you know how your twin flame is going to communicate. And it actually goes beyond that, because you also already know their stories, their memories, because you've always been energetically connected. So even though you probably weren't fully consciously aware of this fact, of this connection to them, you actually shared emotional experiences and even memories. These were passed between you your entire life, because you're connected like that illustration of a cord tying two twin flames' hearts together. And through this heart cord in this illustration, you are always sending energy back and forth, back and forth. And this energy comes from your thoughts, feelings, and experiences in life very often. So let's say you went through something very traumatic as a child, or your twin flame went through something very traumatic or difficult. You actually received this energy from them in real time when you were a child. It's just that you probably didn't know where it was coming from. Oftentimes, twin flames can retrace their steps in life and see that they went through some kind of period of darkness. They went through some kind of unexplainable period of sadness. And it seemed to have no trigger because this twin flame counterpart may have had, by all appearances, a very good life during this period of time. But what they were actually feeling was their twin flame going through these really difficult experiences. And they were translating that energy as pain, trauma, emotion, sadness, grief through their own body, through their own physical body and emotional body, their emotions. So you may even now, just listening, be retracing some of the steps and realize that either you or your twin flame were telepathically, psychically, however you want to describe it, experiencing each other's difficult times. It's like you have always been a team, and that's a really shallow way to put it because it's so much deeper than just cooperation. You have literally been processing each other's pain, emotions, sensations, helping and healing each other through this perpetual energetic exchange that has been happening through all 7 chakras, but especially that heart center, that heart chakra where that heart cord exists your entire life. And this is also why I always say, if you want to deepen your connection to your twin flame, if you want to open communication with a twin flame, whatever it is you want to shift in this external connection, all you have to do is turn within and clear your energy within. Because the more that you clear your energy field, shift your own inner balance into greater harmony, specifically healing either the divine feminine or divine masculine wounds that you may have within you. This is what brings you into greater harmony within this connection, because everything is always reciprocated. It's always reflected. That is the beautiful and sometimes challenging, but always expansive thing about being a twin flame. So if you would like to use a meditation tool I have created to clear out any internal energetic blockages within the 7 chakras specifically, I have created a 7 chakra twin flame clearing subliminal. So subliminal, what does that mean? By subliminal, I mean this meditation track contains unconscious spoken affirmations. So your conscious mind can't hear them. But this is really, really vital, because when your conscious mind can't hear something, it can't reject it. And so these messages are capable of passing freely into the subconscious mind, which of course the subconscious mind is a direct reflection of your energy field. So listening to subliminals is a really powerful way to shift what is happening in the subconscious and therefore shift and balance one's energy. So to learn more about this subliminal and to try it free for 7 days, you can check out the link in the pinned comment and the description box under this video. So what is the next way that twin flames recognize one another? Physical touch. So often when we hear physical touch, that phrase and the concept of love and relationships, we think of something that is inherently intimate, romantic, in nature. But when it comes to twin flames, every touch feels intimate. Even the smallest brushing of your hands or your elbows, someone touching your knee, the most innocent embrace will feel more intimate than any touch you've ever experienced in your life. You will be reflecting on even the smallest touch, daydreaming, fantasizing about those small touches, as innocent and platonic as they may have seemed on the surface. You will find yourself thinking of them, replaying them, reliving them over and over again, because through this small touching of your physical bodies, of these vessels that you chose for this lifetime, there is a remembering of past lifetimes, not just one, but many, many of them for most of you, lifetimes in which you touched in the same way in the beginning. just like eye contact can reawaken you to this depth within your soul with your twin flame. When two twin flames physically touch one another, when their bodies are touching, even in the smallest way, it will feel as though this course of electricity is just running through your veins. You may find yourself, just like with these other signs we mentioned, getting lost in their touch, feeling almost lightheaded or dizzy, disoriented, because their touch is literally raising your energy to this immensely high vibration, sweeping you up into this higher realm, which really goes for all of these signs. All of these signs are capable of sweeping you up into the fifth dimension, because in touching the depths of your soul, they raise your energy. And often also because of the physical proximity with your twin flame as you are experiencing many of these signs. I always talk about that energetic exchange that happens when two twin flames are within, I always say 6 feet because the aura extends approximately 6 feet. But when you're in the same physical room or space as your twin flame, there is this energetic exchange going on that's very, very intense, and that causes you to feel your vibration raising to a very high rate. And because whenever your vibration raises, you are capable of accessing the higher realms and all of the experiences associated. And by higher realms, I mean the fifth dimension, which you can always explore, research more information on that. I've created my own videos on the fifth dimension, and there's a lot of information emerging about the fifth dimension. But as twin flames, it's very easy in our twin flames presence to get caught up into the fifth dimension, which is part of how we recognize them because of the ways in which they touch and reinvigorate and energize our soul like no one else possibly could. And lastly, I'm just going to leave this video here with this final sign. But the final way that I'm going to mention here that twin flames recognize one another is simply through familiarity. Now, I know that I spoke on familiarity before, but I wanted to give this sign its own space because this familiarity with this person will run deeper than any kind of familiarity you could experience with anyone else. And I'm talking friends you've known for 20, 30, 40 years. I'm talking family members who have known you from birth, your own parents. This is even deeper than soul family, people who you have shared many incarnations with. Your twin flame has been connected in every possible way to you, not just through this lifetime, but in every lifetime you've had since the very origin of your soul. And this familiarity will strike you for sure at some point, whether you're willing to accept it or ready to accept it or not. You will have this moment where it's like, it's so hard to find the words to say this, but you will look at this person and be so overwhelmed with how you know them that it will send goosebumps down your spine. It will cause your mouth to just like gape open, like your jaw to drop almost. It will cause this almost physical reaction of just, you are my person. And regardless of whether or not you're ready to accept or act on that, there will be this undeniable moment of familiarity with this person. Maybe it's a moment where you let your guard down a little bit. Maybe you were just laughing and talking and not overthinking things, and you were just struck by this deep soul knowing before your ego had a chance to step in and question it. And I guess that's the final thing I want to say is, if you're experiencing these signs, if you've been researching this material, there is a reason. There's a reason that you found this information. And I can't verify to you externally 100% whether or not this person is your twin flame, because I know that many of you do come and ask, is this person my twin flame? And I always say that information will always be hidden from everyone except you and your person. That is just the nature of this path. No one can tell you, no one can verify to you whether or not this person is a twin flame, because part of the journey is coming into the realization of this connection for what it is. That is an integral part of your own expansion, an integral part of even your spiritual awakening itself. So all I can say is that I hope that by sharing this information, my own experiences and the experiences of others, it helped to bring you some kind of insights or clarity that you needed to hear at this time. If I did resonate with you, please subscribe to this channel. You can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself. Have a wonderful rest of your day.